So, welcome to my 25-year mobility project. Me trying to stay mobile until I'm 100 years old. The year is 2026. It's year three. I'm 77 years old. Here we go. We're making maple syrup. As the season starts out, the first thing you have to do is make trails through the forest to get to the trees and check out the condition of the trees. This is sometimes really hard work because the snow can be deep in March and it's slow going. When the snow is deep, of course, it's way more work to dig out the fire pit and the boiling area. This year was particularly bad. The snow was, I would say, maybe a foot and a half, 2 feet deep all around. And it took myself and Diane about probably 3 hours of shoveling on and off to dig out the pit to make it so that we could start the process. And here's my wife Diane pounding in a spigot into a likely maple tree. After a few minutes, it will start to drip maple sap, and we'll collect it in buckets and take it over to the fire. And here's another way of collecting the sap. There's a spigot in the tree connected to a hose which goes into a bucket. This allows you to collect a lot more sap before you have to take it to the fire, and it's a cleaner process. So here we are finally. The snow has been cleared away from the fire pit. The sap has been collected from the trees and carried in. The firewood is at the side over there, collected last year and dried out and ready to go. The fire has been started. The grill has been put on, and two pans. These are just basically turkey pans. And they're filled up with sap, and you can see they're starting to turn a little bit of a golden color there. That means the water is being boiled out and the sugar is being left. So here's a pan that's almost ready to be taken off and poured. What I'm doing is I'm using a sieve to clear out all the little bits of carbon that might be in there. Now you can tell the pan is ready because when you boil it, it turns into a foam, a kind of a yellow foam, and starts to creep up the sides. That tells me that the sugar content is just about ready, and it's time for me to figure out how to get this thing off without burning myself and to take it over where we pour it. Now, pouring it is important because it's the final step before we have the actual maple syrup ready to give away. So it's poured into a filter system. There's three filters. Two are synthetic, and one is a thick felt filter. And the the syrup goes through and is cleaned. All the little bits of carbon are cleaned out of it, and it drips through the bottom, and that's where we get this. This is the final finished product. After I do spend some time trying to make sure that all of the syrup gets through. It's a little bit thick and it takes work. You can see the black in the bottom of that first filter. That's little bits of carbon that were caught in there. Now, a little bit of carbon is not the end of the world, but we do our best to make sure we get as much out of it as possible so that it's as pure as possible. So all the syrup goes into that green container at the bottom. It takes probably 10-15 minutes of working it through, stirring it, moving the carbon aside. You can see the dark color there is the carbon. And out through the bottom comes a clear golden liquid, which is delicious for most people. So why do we do all this? Why do I do maple syrup? Well, it's outdoors, it's great activity. It takes about 3 weeks from beginning to end, trudging through the forest, digging out the snow, putting in making the fire, getting all the equipment out, and then the final pour like this. After this, we take it into the house, we pour it into clean, sterilized bottles, and then it's ready for us to use and for us to give to friends and neighbors. That's probably the best part. It's something we do together. Both Diane and I enjoy getting this done. And my operation is so simple that when it's all finished, I just clean out the pans and put the griddle away. Just a reminder that this project, my 25-year mobility project, started in 2024, so there are many videos available on this channel. If you support the idea of me experimenting with trying to stay active and healthy and mobile, of course, until I'm 100 years old. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.